สวัสดีท่านผู้เข้าร่วมรายการทุกท่านนะคะทั้งที่รับชมอยู่ในห้องประชุมแห่งนี้นะคะณสถาบันเพิ่มผลผลิตแห่งชาติและช่องทางดิจิทัลออนไลน์นะคะช่องทางซูมของเรานั่นเองค่ะในนามของสถาบันเพิ่มผลผลิตแห่งชาติสถาบันเครือข่ายของกระทรวงอุตสาหกรรมขอต้อนรับทุกท่านนะคะเข้าสู่รายการ Global Sustainability and Productivity Network ค่ะหรือว่าเราเรียกว่าGSPN Update นะคะรายการนี้นะคะเป็นรายการที่ชาวสถาบันเพิ่มผลผลิตแห่งชาติค่ะเราตั้งใจและมุ่งมั่นที่จะทำรายการนี้นะคะเพื่อที่จะอัปเดตเทรนด์ใหม่ๆประสบการณ์ใหม่ๆนะคะจากทั่วทุกมุมโลกค่ะเพื่อที่จะให้ทุกท่านนะคะได้รับฟังและเป็นการเพื่อยกระดับศักยภาพของบุคลากรนะคะทั้งองค์กรไทยในทุกภาคส่วนนะคะเพื่อที่จะนำไปประยุกต์ใช้และเพิ่มขีดความสามารถในศักยภาพของแต่ละท่านเพื่อความเติบโตที่ยั่งยืนต่อไปในอนาคตนะคะซึ่งในครั้งนี้ค่ะเป็นเอพิโซดแรกของรายการเราเลยนะคะเราก็เลยหยิบเรื่องของ Leadership with Asian Philosophies นะคะซึ่งภาษาไทยนะคะเราก็จะแปลว่าเคล็ดไม่ลับนำองค์กรสู่ความสำเร็จค่ะดิฉันขอแนะนำตัวเองนะคะชื่อทัชยาใจเจริญนะคะจะรับหน้าที่เป็นผู้ดำเนินรายการในวันนี้นะคะสำหรับรายการ GSPN Update เอพิโซดในวันนี้นะคะวิทยากรของเราค่ะอิมพอร์ตจากประเทศญี่ปุ่นเลยค่ะดังนั้นนะคะก็จะทำให้รายการของเราในวันนี้นะคะจะเป็นการพูดภาษาอังกฤษทั้งหมดเลยนะคะ In next order I would like to request your permission to run the program in English.For the contents of today, all of you will learn and understand important concept and the population of the discussion also. This issue will help you to manage team successfully according to the Eastern concept. Once more, if you have any question or comment, you can comment and ask directly to our speaker.For online channel, you can send a question via chat, and our team will collect and bring them to our speaker after the program finish. Right now, we are first part of the program. I would like to extend an invitation. The Executive Director of FTPI, Mr. Suwanchai Lohawattanagun, for opening segment of the event. Greeting to speaker and audience, please ค่ะ
Okay, please allow me to speak in Thai first. ขอยินดีต้อนรับทุกท่านนะครับกิจกรรมวันนี้จริงๆแล้วเป็นกิจกรรมง่ายๆที่เราอยากจะจัดขึ้นมาเพื่อที่อยากจะสนับสนุน sustainability กับ productivity ของประเทศไทยนะครับว่าเราจะสามารถไปเชื่อมเครือข่ายเรากับต่างประเทศได้อย่างไรบ้างโดยที่จะเป็น series of activity นะแล้วก็จะเป็นงานเล็กๆที่เราสะสมไปเรื่อยๆแล้วก็จะมีการยกระดับไปบางงานเป็นเชิญจากต่างประเทศบางงานเราก็จะทำเป็นเวิร์กช็อปองค์ความรู้ใหม่อะไรที่เป็นประโยชน์ในการขับเคลื่อน sustainability หรือ productivity ในโลกสมัยใหม่เนี่ยก็จะเป็นกิจกรรมที่อยากจะทำนะวันนี้เองเนี่ยด้วยความตั้งใจนี้เองเราก็เลยบอกว่าเราก็อยากจะพาพวกเรามาเจอกันด้วยนะวันนี้กิจกรรมในวันนี้ก็ต้องขอบคุณทุกท่านที่มาที่สถาบันเพื่อนของเราแล้วก็ขอบคุณท่านที่ดูออนไลน์เราด้วยนะครับว่าเป็นกิจกรรมตัวย่อของ GSPN คือว่า Global Sustainability and Productivity Network นะจากนี้ไปเนี่ยก็จะมีกิจกรรมของเราไปเรื่อยๆจนเราจะได้เน็ตเวิร์กกลุ่มหนึ่งขึ้นมาแล้วเราก็จะค่อยๆขยายผลและเอาแต่ละเครือข่ายของเราเองเนี่ยมาสนับสนุนการเติบโตเชิง Sustainability and Productivity ของประเทศไทยโดยที่ผู้ประกอบการทุกคนที่อยู่ในวันนี้ก็จะได้ประโยชน์อย่างเต็มที่ในการขับเคลื่อนมิติใหม่ของสถาบันเพิ่มตามโจทย์ที่ผมได้รับมอบหมายมาว่าเรามีหน้าที่ที่จะขับเคลื่อน Productivity ไทยสู่ความสำเร็จที่ยั่งยืนมันหมดยุคละที่เราจะเก่งคนเดียวมันหมดสมัยละที่เราจะร่ำรวยคนเดียวปัจจุบันไม่ว่าจะสำเร็จหรือเติบโตมากน้อยแค่ไหนสังคมและสิ่งแวดล้อมจะต้องเติบโตขึ้นไปด้วยก็เป็นภารกิจที่ผมภาคภูมิใจมาก and today I'm very happy to have Mr. Jack Nakamura-san and invite him to come to this session because I think this is our first and cozy small event but proudly represent we want to support my project I want to create sustainability and productivity network to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship in Thailand and also promoting sustainable business practice through the adaptation of environmental friendly practices for example we can have some program to accelerate Thai business to reduce their carbon footprint and contribute to sustainable development. And also we want to promote and support education and skill development to Thai society. and which is very important, which nowadays we know that we need to reskill and upskill ourselves. And there are several new knowledge that we want to bring in order to enhance our competitiveness in the business. And lastly, we want to create the strategic partnership, and we want to create this network together with a lot of countries, and we are going to invite a lot of new members and new partnership that we have already collaboration between FTPI, and we are very happy to have you here for our session today. Later on, after you listening to Mr. Jack, if you have any further question, please feel free to ask. We will have our staff stand by here to get the question from you. And today we are very happy to have you here. Thank you very much, and please welcome Mr. Jack ครับ ขอบคุณมากครับ
I would like to talk about Mr. Jack. His name is Katsuhiro Nakamura. So we're talking about his current title, CEO and founder of Asian Identity Limited Partnership, a human resources organizational development company. And he has 20 years experience in the human resource consulting field. Previously, he worked with Nestle, Link, and Motivation Incorporation, a human resource consulting firm in Tokyo, Globit, and Lasket MBA School in Japan. And he's also a guest lecturer on Japanese leadership at the Thai Nikki Institute of Technology at Thai Japanese University in Bangkok. And then overall, he is the author of the top-selling books in Japan on the Amazon platform. Right now, I would like to request your round of applause to Mr. Jack, please.
I don't have to use, maybe this microphone is enough, right? Okay. ได้จุครับ โอเค ผมชื่อนาคามูระนะครับ ชื่อเล่นชื่อแจ็คนะครับ ยินดีที่รู้จักครับ ในวันนี้ขออนุญาตใช้ภาษาอังกฤษนะครับ Okay. So thank you very much. It's very honor to be invited as a speaker. So thank you very much, Mr. Swanson. And it's very excited to meet all of you. Yeah, thank you very much. And also I heard there are around 100 people of online audience for today. So I hope you will all enjoy my session today. And I would like to do my best to share some Asian knowledge with you. Actually, I shouldn't say teaching or something, because Asian knowledge is something we have in common, actually. Yes, and maybe Japanese people have learned from Asian as well. So that's why maybe we can rediscover again, right? And to maybe utilize it to the future. What is it? A bit, it's okay? A little bit. Okay, we can go. Okay, so she already introduced me. So actually I have been working in the human resource consulting field nearly 20 years. And starting from my career at the global food industry, Nestle, but in recent years, my passion lies in people. Yes, and 9 years ago, I came to Thailand and fell in Thailand, like other Japanese. Oh, I should live in this country, and I should work with Thai people. I should work for Thai people. So that's why I made up mind to start my own business here in Thailand. Yes, this is my company. As introduced, human resource consulting firm that is mainly providing training, workshop, seminars. I hope it should be fixed. Yeah, or coaching service and engagement survey, which is a Japanese product, which is do some research of the employee engagement in the organization. That kind of combination of the service. Yeah. So we have my team in the back here. So please allow me get you connected later on. Okay. And as Swanson introduced, I have recently published this book in Japan. Unfortunately, it's still in Japanese. So my next goal is I have to find a good publishing company in Thailand to translate into Thai language. Yes. But meanwhile, I have written these two cartoons. Yes. Susupin, which is a ภาษาไทย It's about some business skills, and this is about leadership. It's kind of textbook to learn in a easy understanding way. So if you're interested in, please contact us, our team. Yeah. Okay, and our motto is, as you can see, the slogan at the bottom: Asia is one. Asia is one. Yeah. So I don't want to change people because I don't want to make Thai people like Japanese people, and I don't want to make Japanese people like Thai people because we have different identity, different uniqueness. So important thing is to harmonize each other by respecting each difference. That's our mission of our company. Yes, and this is quite related to today's concept. Harmony is very key concept of Asian philosophy. Yeah. 頑張れ、Susu. But don't worry, I will share with you most of the essence of this book today. Yeah. Okay, so I hope should be okay. Okay, let me continue. So, okay, so throughout my career, throughout my career of business education or consulting business, there is one question in myself, which is high business skill does not directly mean you have great leadership. Sorry. There is something difference in between, right? So high business skill does not mean great leadership. And also, if you have beautiful educational background, it doesn't also directly mean you have great leadership, right? Something missing, which is, I think, whether you are kind of good person or not. What kind of person you are? Oh.
สถาบันเพิ่มเนี่ยเราก็จะมีเครื่องมือหลากหลายมากเลยเนอะแล้วจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยผมตั้งใจมาสถาบันเพิ่มเพราะว่าผมเห็นสถาบันเพิ่มเรามีองค์ความรู้เรามี30ปีที่สะสมกันมามีงานวิจัยต่างๆที่เป็นประโยชน์แล้วก็ที่สำคัญเราสามารถยกระดับหลายๆภาคส่วนมากเลยเรามีแบบเซอร์วิสดูแลทั้งกลุ่มภาคอุตสาหกรรมภาคการค้าภาคบริการภาคการศึกษาแล้วก็จริงๆแล้วที่เราแบบภูมิใจที่สุดก็คือเรื่องของ Thailand Quality Award เนอะซึ่งจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยมันเป็นโมเดลในการพัฒนาที่เติบโตไปอย่างยั่งยืนด้วยโมเดลของมันเองอยู่แล้วคราวนี้21ปีที่ผ่านมาเองเนี่ยเราก็มีรางวัลคุณภาพแห่งชาติซึ่งทำกันมาอย่างต่อเนื่องเลยแล้วเราก็คิดว่าปีนี้เป็นปีที่ผมเพิ่งเข้ามารับตำแหน่งได้ไม่นานคือประมาณ4 เดือนแล้วพอได้เห็นงานต่างๆของสถาบันเพิ่มแล้วผมรู้สึกว่าเราสามารถยกระดับไปสู่ global excellence ได้เนาะปีนี้เราก็เลยแบบว่าขยายรางวัลเราขึ้นมาอีก1ขั้นเป็น global excellence ที่จะทำให้ต่างประเทศไทยเองเนี่ยสามารถไปฉายแสงแล้วก็ represent ประเทศไทยเราว่าเราจริงเราไม่แพ้ใครในโลกในเดียวกันเรื่องของ sustainability เองเนี่ยมันก็เป็นสิ่งสำคัญมากๆในปัจจุบันนะเราก็เลยมองว่าในเมื่อองค์กรทุกๆคนเองเนี่ยอยากเติบโตอยากประสบความสำเร็จนะครับเดียวกันเราก็ต้องดูแลสังคมสิ่งแวดล้อมด้วยก็เลยมีการเพิ่มรางวัลของ societal contribution ขึ้นมาหน่วยงานใดองค์กรใดที่มีความตั้งใจอย่างต่อเนื่องและทำให้สังคมชุมชนดีขึ้นเองเนี่ยเราก็อยากจะมอบรางวัลให้ด้วยนะก็เป็นกลไกในการยกระดับในตอนนี้หลังจากที่ผมเป็นผอ.ที่นี่นะครับแล้วก็สำหรับทุกท่านที่ชมอยู่เองเนี่ยเราจะมีอีก1ฟังก์ชันซึ่งสำคัญมากๆและเป็นประโยชน์มากๆคือเราเป็นสมาชิกอยู่ในเครือข่ายของ Asian Productivity Organization APO ของญี่ปุ่นที่รวมเป็นทั้งหมด21ประเทศนะเราเป็น1ใน8ประเทศผู้ก่อตั้งด้วยนะแล้วก็จะมีแบบกิจกรรมที่เป็นประโยชน์มากๆเลยมีหลักสูตรต่างๆที่เราสามารถดูทางออนไลน์ได้ด้วยแล้วก็มีทุนด้วยนะสมมติว่าเราไปสามารถ search เดี๋ยวออกไปข้างนอกก็อาจจะเอาหยิบโบชัวร์ไปถ้าเกิดใครสนใจก็ลองดูว่ามีกิจกรรมใดจากที่ประเทศไหนแล้วเขารู้สึกว่าเป็นประโยชน์ทำให้เราได้พัฒนาตัวเองต่อเนื่องก็สามารถหยิบเข้ามาแล้วก็สมัครเข้ามาได้ก็อาจจะมีแบบกระบวนการคัดเลือกเล็กน้อยแล้วก็การจบกลับมาแล้วอาจจะแบบต้องมาแบ่งปัน sharing เพราะเราก็อยากจะสร้างsharing network ด้วยที่ว่าปัจจุบันการเป็นผู้รู้เนี่ยเราก็ควรจะเป็นแบบแบ่งปันออกไปนะแล้วก็ในหนึ่งในบทบาทของ APO ก็คือว่าแต่ก็ต้องแบ่งปันออกไปไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของ article เป็นเรื่องของการเล่าเรื่องหรือบทความอะไรอย่างเงี้ยก็จะเป็นประโยชน์สำหรับเราทุกๆคนที่เป็นเน็ตเวิร์กที่จะเป็น GSPN ซึ่งเป็นเน็ตเวิร์กอันใหม่ที่เราตั้งขึ้นมาจากการตั้ง GSPN เนี่ยขอเล่าเท้าความเป็นนิดนึงก็คือว่าผมเคยเป็นประธาน Global Entrepreneurship Network ซึ่งเป็นเครือข่ายผู้ประกอบการทั่วโลกแบบ70 กว่าประเทศแล้วการเชื่อมโยงแบบนั้นเองกว่าเขาจะเป็นเน็ตเวิร์กได้เนี่ยมันใช้เวลาสะสมมาหลายปีมาก แล้วเราก็เริ่มจากกลุ่มเล็กๆแล้วก็ขยายผลไปเรื่อยๆตอนนี้ GSPN เนี่ยก็เลยคาดหวังว่าเราก็เริ่มจากกลุ่มเล็กๆที่เป็นโคซี่แบบนี้มาเจอกันแล้วก็ค่อยๆพัฒนากันไปเลือกในหัวข้อที่เราสนใจค่อยๆมาเจอกันหัวข้อไหนไม่สนใจไม่ว่างไม่เป็นไรว่างเมื่อไหร่เข้ามาเชื่อมกันเดือนหนึ่งครั้งหนึ่งเราก็จะจัดกิจกรรมแบบนี้นะครับตอนนี้ผมคิดว่าเวทีพร้อมแล้วก็ขออภัยทุกท่านแล้วก็ขอต้อนรับมิตรสนใจอีกทีนึงครับ
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you much. Thank you. Okay, so today's topic is philosophy. Yes, philosophy, we could interpret the way we see something or the way we think. Yeah, that is philosophy, which is a little bit different from business skill, something more beneath that. It's kind of related to our mindset or attitude. Yes, so let's find why this is important for our leadership. Then later on, how we can apply to our business. These two parts that I will talk about today. Yeah. First of all, let's learn first what are the characteristics of Asian philosophy. Right? So before going into the detail of Asian philosophy, what is the image of difference between Western way of thinking, Asian way of thinking? Can anyone, any volunteer to share what's your image? What's the difference? Okay, thank you much.
I think Western way could be more individualism,
Individualism.
competitive,
Competitive.
and Eastern could be more team-based.
Team-based.
And that's why the individual contribution could be unclear in some certain way.
Okay.
So it's more focused like allow a bit of error and more like
Okay.
collaboration.
ถูกต้องครับ Thank you very much. Yes, yes, great analysis. Yes. So in Western way, they tend to think into some by dividing into some parts. Yes. But Eastern way of thinking try to integrate something and think as a whole. That's the kind of major difference. So let's see the what kind of philosopher there were in Asian region first. Yeah. So there are so many Asian philosophers. Of course, I cannot explain everything and I cannot study everything. So that's why for writing my book, I did some research, some of the key figure in each region, and especially by the criteria of the its usefulness for the business application or not. Yes. And at a quick look, yes, the Buddha, he was born in India and he was the origin of Buddhism, as everyone knows. Yes. And from China, there were Confucians, such as Confucius, and the student of Confucius is Mencius and Sunji. These are the key figures of Confucianists. Yes, that they came from the north side of China. Yes, and on the opposite side, Taoists like Laozi, Zhuangzi. These are the major figures of Taoists. Actually, Confucianists and Taoists are very opposite way of thinking. Actually, Confucius are emphasize important having some discipline in yourself. Yes, but on Taoists emphasize more the freedom. We should not try to follow any kind of rules. We should live just as you like. So that's a very different way of thinking. Yes, and actually Japan has imported everything actually and blend everything and imported everything. And for geographical reason, actually Japan was never conquered by any kind of country, and it's closed national border for more than 250 years. So that's why Japanese religious concept has become very unique. Yes, by learning many things from these kind of words. But one of the maybe most signature religion that maybe I could say is a Zen. Zen is one of the unique philosophy developed in Japan in their own way. And one of the key figure is a Dogen. Dogen is the origin of the Soto region. Yes. So, but these are the philosophers that I found that they are telling very useful lessons for business people in the modern world. So I want to maybe summarize today for you. So I don't want to say Japan is the origin of Asian philosophy. Actually, on the other hand, we have learned a lot of things. I think from Thailand as well, yes. But because of the geographical reason, yeah, it has developed in a unique way, yes. And one of the key philosophers in Japan that I want to introduce is Tenshin Okamura, which is a philosopher more than 100 years ago. He was born just after Edo period ended. Actually, he was a researcher of the art. He was traveling around all over the Asia, from India, Thailand, and China, and he found some commonality Asia. There are a lot of commonality in art, in way of thinking, and he said, Asia is one. So actually, my slogan is copy from him, actually, yes. And he was very fluent in English, so that's why he wrote this book, The Book of Tea, in English, perfect English. Because tea is drunk everywhere, right? Tea is drunk in India, tea is drunk in China, in Thailand as well, and in Japan as well. There are something in common. So by using tea, he explained Asian culture, yes. And what he concluded is Western world and Eastern world should learn from each other. At that time, Western world is trying to conquer the Asian countries. But he said, Asian people should not attack back again, actually. Instead of that, we should try to harmonize with Western world as well. That is what he said. Anyway, he is the person who found we have a lot of similarities, and he explained to the Western world more than 100 years ago. So let me introduce very briefly two main concepts of Asian philosophy that was mainly introduced by him. One is relativity. I think everyone knows this symbol, yin-yang, which is well known as a symbol of Taoism. Yes, yin-yang means white area and black area related to each other. And it says we cannot divide into black or white because, as you can see, this is a black spot. But if without white space, this black spot cannot exist. Right? This side too. If there is no black area, this white cannot exist, right? Which means we cannot divide black or white. It's also said there is no good or bad. We cannot simply define this is good, this is bad, because it's related to each other. It coexists. That's a concept of yin-yang. Everything related to each other. So that's why we have to see the things as a whole. Yes. For example, in organization, for example, if you work as a leader, we tend to think this is good person, good, bad person. This is good stuff, bad stuff. But if we follow this kind of concept, we do not recommend to think like that. Yes. If we could think this person seems to be good, but if we take a carefully look, maybe on the flip side, he might be some bad side. If we think this person seems to be bad, but on the flip side, he might be good. So human being cannot be simply classified good person, bad person. So we have to see the things in different angles so that we can see the situation more properly. So that's the concept of relativity, which I think leader should keep in mind before jumping into the conclusion. Actually. For example, COVID, I think many business leaders face difficult situation, but some business leaders who survive the COVID very well see positive side of the COVID a lot, actually. That kind, this is crisis, but at the same time, it might be an opportunity for us. So what can we do? If we see only from the negative side, the crisis is just a negative. So that's why we cannot take any positive action. But if we can see from the both sides, our action can be different. Right? So see from different angles based on these concepts. That is important mindset when you lead a business or lead a team. Yes. Another concept is subjectivity. It's a bit difficult concept, but it's kind of from Indian philosophy. Bonga ichinyo. Bong means Brahman. I don't know I can properly pronounce the Indian word. Brahman is a universe, yes. And Atman is yourself. This said, universe, yourself is the same. What does it mean? This means if there is something, it is something because you see it. So the world is something you see it. There is there's nothing it can be exist without existing of the human. So that's the meaning of subjectivity. For example, this is a water bottle because I'm here and I'm seeing this water bottle. But if my way of thinking or if my mindset is different, this might be something else. So that's the meaning of subjectivity. If there is a problem, this is a problem because I see it as a problem. But if I see it differently, this might not be a problem. So this is the concept of subjectivity, which could be maybe interpreted in the modern context. Problems are created by the way we see the things. Yes, this is also important Asian concept. So if I apply these concepts into the maybe business practice, we could say like this. For example, in the business, we have to do problem solving, right? And the concept that we're familiar with in common business practice, Western approach of business problem solving. For example, if there is a problem, we have to analyze it first, right? If you analyze it, you can find the cause. If you find the cause, we come up with proper solution. That's a Western approach. And I attended many logical thinking training, and I taught many logical thinking training. I think if you attend this kind of logical thinking training, you learn this kind of step, because this comes from Western world. So key method is you have to logically do this. And you have to divide into parts, as you said. Without dividing into parts, you cannot see the core cause, core reason, right? That's a Western approach. But if I compare with Asian approach, this is my interpretation. If there is a problem, we should reflect ourselves, because this is a problem, because I see it as a problem, right? But sometimes I may be wrong, right? If my perspective is maybe wrong, this might not be a serious problem. So we have to carefully reflect. Then reframe. Is it really a problem? Is it opportunity? Is it, we could say, just a difference? So that kind of, we could see it in a different way. That is reframe. Think in a different way, yes. Then resolution. Resolution is slightly different solution. Sometimes we don't have to solve that problem. Problem just disappears, or problem just be there without being solved. That is a resolution. So maybe key method that we can apply is inspiration and integrate the whole, not divide into parts. So that's why I don't want to say which approach is better or worse, but this approach to see the problem in the whole or perspective can sometimes help us better, because nowadays the situation, our business environment is becoming more complex and complex, right? So that's why it's not easy to analyze this is a problem or this is good, this is bad, right? When some situation changes, good and bad turns around. So that's why we have to sometimes see the whole situation, and maybe sometimes have to wait or have to see it in a different way. So that kind of attitude of approach to the problem is also important for the leader's mindset. Maybe this could be seen in medical approach, maybe. When we compare Western medical approach and Eastern medical approach, Western approach is very analytical, right? You take X-ray, or you doctor analyze the situation of symptoms, then offer proper solution, sometimes surgery, sometimes medicine. But Eastern approach, they see the body of the human as a whole, actually, like what kind of flow of the energy in your body is happening. Then just make it warm as your body, or warm the body as a whole. So that kind of not analytical, but more holistic approach. So maybe we could say similar story can be understood in the medical approach as well. Okay, so my summary so far, why Asian philosophy is important for business leaders in modern time is, I could say like this. What leaders should do can be separated, doing and being, actually. Doing is knowledge and skills. So if you want to succeed as a leader, you have to learn a lot of knowledge, a lot of skills by going to business school, obtaining MBA, yes. But as we talk, only having knowledge cannot make you the successful business leader. You have to have a good attitude and mindset. That is being, right? To develop proper attitude. Okay, thank you. Right. Philosophy will help. Philosophy will help because philosophy supports you to build up the way you see the world, the way you see the things. Okay. Let me give you one example. For example, giving feedback. Actually, we are providing a lot of business training, and how to give feedback is very common topic. Feedback is point out you are not good, you have to improve this area, that kind of comments, right? That is one of the important job of manager, right? But one of the most difficult job of manager because we don't want to make them feel bad, right? How to give feedback? There are a lot of textbook about giving feedback. You have to learn this communication skill, how to explain your point, and conceptual skills, how to crystallize your point in a compact way, and feedback techniques. You should say good things first, bad things later. You should do some casual talk first, that kind of techniques. There are a lot of techniques written in the business book. But what I think is it's not enough, actually. If use these skills without having this, it doesn't sound to the point sometimes if you only rely on the skills, as you could understand. So what are the being? Believing in potential of the talents. This person, I believe this person can succeed in future. Or acceptance. This person is different from me. This person is different from nationality, but I like him. That kind of attitude. Or love and trust. I'm happy to work with him. I'm happy to be with him. So that's why I will give feedback to him. These things sometimes more important than having skills. Do you understand what I mean? Yes. Without having this, it's like a very business-like communication. But if we have this as well, it's more like a warm and it's more human communication. Then your communication as a leader, your communication as your manager can become much, much more efficient. Yes. This can be learned by textbook or training course, but this cannot be easily developed without proper experience. But learning of philosophy can help you to develop. For example, relativity that I taught you. There is no good man or bad man. Okay, let's see his things as a neutral. Or goodness of human. This is a famous concept of Confucius. In every single person, there is good point in everyone. There is no one who completely bad one. So let's try to find good point of him. This is an attitude to trust goodness of human. Or neutrality. This is a Buddhism concept. I I should be in neutral. I should not go to extreme. Then when I talk with staff, okay, let's put myself as a neutral and be for being a good listener. That kind of stance, attitude is also can be learned by knowing philosophy. These learning can help you to build up your attitude as a leader. So that is why I believe leaders should know philosophies, especially Asian philosophy, because Asian philosophy recommends to see the things as a whole and see yourself actually. Problem lies yourself. Problem lies external can be more obvious, right? So we tend to analyze the problem as something external, but sometimes problem it might exist in ourselves. So that's why we should know the both approach. Okay, so second half of my presentation is now we maybe have better understanding of why it is important. So let's go into the how. So in the book, I have listed up 6 major problems that leaders face. For example, how to move people, how to develop people, how to evaluate people, how to deal with resignation, yes, how to make decision, how to keep self-confidence. Actually, I have been working more than thousands of business people, and I have supported them as a consultant. I think these are the common problem of leaders, and I believe philosophy can help to overcome these problems, because these are problems with no answer, actually, no answer, no right answer. If it is a problem with some answer, you can solve it with analytical skill, because there is an answer. But if you face a problem with no answer, analytical skill doesn't help you. You have to try to face that problem with being brave, and we have to find your own answer by your own attitude. That's the difficult point. So, but philosophy will help to tackle these problems. So that is what I have found. So can I ask you to quickly talk with your neighbor, just one minute? Of course, not everyone here in the room are a leader, but can you just imagine if you're a leader, what kind of thing is difficult for you? Okay, I'll give you 1 minute, just people next to you. Okay. What is difficulty for you? Okay, thank you very much. Can I ask one volunteer, share your thoughts? What are typical problems? Of course, it depends on the people. So can I ask one volunteer? Hi, thank you.
I think it's number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5, how to make decisions.
Okay.
And because when you are executive or manager, you have to face a problem.
Yeah.
Some problem you cannot solve by logical thinking.
ใช่ค่ะ
Some you have to forget
Okay.
and move forward into the future. That's what I think.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Can I ask? Yes.
Me and my friend here think number 3 is quite challenging.
Okay.
Because I know when you evaluate people, and most people don't want to listen to the bad thing about themselves. Nah?
Okay.
So and when you evaluate them badly, so the consequence will affect to the future work, and yeah, that's so sometimes you cannot speak the truth to your subordinate.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, one last person because okay.
I think it's number 6, how to
Okay.
keep self-confidence. Because if you are the leaders, everything is upon to you, and your stable emotion, stable thinking, feeling. That's why it so many problems
Yes.
happen because the leader not so stable in that one. Self-confidence is maybe one of the factor. If you up and down so many times, so everything when you decision, you move people, you develop people, you
Yeah.
evaluate people, everything will change all the time. I
Okay.
think.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, maybe this should be related to other topics as well. Okay, thank you very much. So today I have brought some key points, which might not touch everything actually, but let me try to give as many points as possible to solve these points. So first thing is how to move people, okay, which is also a common challenge. So actually there are a lot of practical lessons we can learn from Asian philosophers, especially from actually China, Confucius. So one of the most famous concept that was proposed by Mencius is Hado Odo. Hado Odo, yes. Some of you might be heard of it or not. Yeah. Hado means lead by power. Odo is lead by virtue. Virtue, we could say value, or sometimes we could say trust or something. Yeah. He compared these two concepts. Actually, this is Mencius was a person who was more than 2,000 years ago. So that's why actually at the China at that time was a lot of war. So that's why most of the king in China led their country by Hado. Most of the Chinese king, yes. But those countries did not make people happy actually. So that's why Mencius proposed leaders should lead by virtue. So some Chinese leaders led their country by virtue, and he saw more successful leadership in those countries, in those kings. So what he said is, when you use power to control someone, it does not mean that they are following you wholeheartedly. They feel just reluctantly. They only follow because they are beyond your power, beyond the kings. Kings is beyond their power. That's why they are reluctantly follow. When a leader rules by virtue of humanity, people are willing to serve him from the bottom of the heart. I can understand this concept. But I assume everyone in this room don't want to be controlled by power, right? I think, right? Yes, I think, but somehow when some people become king, they try to control by power. But it's denied many philosophers, yes, of Asian time. Because actually there are some story, for example, another Confucius, Shunji, he explained by using a story. He said, the king is like a boat and the people is like a water. So water can carry the boat to the destination if it's peaceful water. But it can turn over the boat if situation changes, right? So that's why if leader rules the people by power, to some extent it's okay. But if situation changes, if the king loses power, maybe it's turned over. So that's why lead by power cannot last long, actually. So that's the Shunji pointed out. So that's why Confucians basically emphasize the concept Jing. Jing is love. So leader has to keep love in yourself to the people. Especially if you want to get an excellent talent, you have to keep love. If you are if lower capability staff, maybe you can control by power. But if you want to have a high capability talent, you should not try to control them by power because they don't want to be controlled by power, right? Like ourselves don't want to be, right? So that's why if you want to recruit high capability talent, you have to keep Jin in yourself. I found similar concept in Japanese animation, which is Kimetsu no Yaiba. This is my favorite. Has anyone watched this? Maybe some people not. Don't worry, I don't spoil it today. But to make it short, this is a story of Tanjiro to beat the demon, beat the demon. And there is very strong soldiers called Hashira, 9 strong soldiers, yes. But the boss of the soldier is just a boy, actually, Oyakata-sama, which is, he doesn't power at all. He doesn't, actually he's sick, he's suffering a deep sick. But somehow, these strong soldiers followed him wholeheartedly. Why? Because I don't spoil it. But each soldier has very sad story, sad life story. Some soldier had to kill their parents by themselves because of demon. So that kind of sad story behind. So what he's doing is just understand them. So these fight for this boss, for feeling thankful for being understood by the boss. So what I see, if I analyze his leadership, he's leading talented people by showing understanding to them, showing understanding. I think this is sometimes happening in our organization as well. Sometimes strong people sometimes have some loneliness in themselves because they are sometimes strong people cannot so often be understood by others. Or strong people try to be strong because they have some sad experience in the past. So that's why those people sometimes, if they are understood by others, they will follow you, they will work for you. That kind of emotion sometimes strong people have. So power of understanding can be an important source of leadership. This is, I think, what we can call Jin. Yes, yeah. So this is what I can learn from Asian philosophy. When we want to move people, show understanding. Never try to move them by power. It can help you only short term. It can help you only when your staff is not so capable. Okay, second point, how to deal with resignation. Yeah, no one mentioned in the presentation, but I think I sometimes hear this is an event that shocks some of the managers in our business world. Right? Of course, I have been running my own business, so I have many staff who left my company, yes. When I see resignation, I cannot sleep actually. Sometimes I cry. I don't cry at the office, but I cry at home, yes. Of course, right, because we have been working so many years, so very sad, yes. But as you said, and as he said, actually, managers or leaders have to control their own emotion. We have to strong. So how can we face these sad events? And also, lessons from Asian philosopher can help us. That is Tao, taught by Lao Tzu. Tao means the way. So maybe we could interpret this as destiny. What if this is a destiny? If this is a destiny, there is some meaning, right? If my staff leave the company, there might be some meaning. Then maybe we can start to reframe the event. So this is what he said. A person of great virtue simply follows Tao, the way. The way is dim. Dim is very dark. So it's not so bright. Profound and invisible. So we cannot see the way. But there is something energetic. The spirit is true and there is nothing false in it. So a bit unique story, but what he means, follow your destiny. If there is any event, please think as if it's a destiny. And there's one story that I can introduce to you is the story of Shunji, the successor of Lao Shi. Shunji, this is a famous story of Shunji. He said, when something ends, something begins. When something ends, something begins. This is a core Jose concept. This is one of the important concepts of Taoism. This is a story when Shunji's wife died. When Shunji's wife died, his friend visited his home, but somehow Shunji showed no signs of mourning at all. But instead of he was singing. And the friend was so surprised and said, she must have been your wife for many years. It's so inappropriate to be singing instead of mourning. Why you are singing when your wife passed away? That is the surprise. Shunji said, after my wife's death, I was very sad, of course. But when I think about the beginning of life, I realized that there was no life in the first place. So nothing was there at all, and life was just born. Now it's just returning to the way it was. So she is now sleeping somewhere in the universe peacefully. So that is what he told. So he means die means getting back to the original. So this is what he said, explained to explain Jose theory. So when something ends, it doesn't mean just an end. It is a beginning of something. So that's the theory. And maybe if we can apply this to resignation, I think resignation can bring can bring some new start to the organizations. For example, it can bring opportunity for the next generations. If someone leaves the company, his or her junior have to work harder to fill that job, right? And we have to find successor. So he or she might bring new idea to the organization. And of course, the person who we have to say bye-bye, it's sad, but he goes to the new stage, which is very important thing for that career. So maybe we should wish good luck for that talent, right? And of course, as a leader, we can learn so many things actually. Many people, many staff had left my team, but I think I have learned a lot of things, so it can make myself stronger. So that's why if we seeing the resignation from negative side, just a negative event, sad event, an irritating event, yes, I cannot sleep. But if we see it from different side, yes, there are many things that we can see as an opportunity. Then we can sustain our mental, and also we can take positive action to utilize this event. So that is also reframing, yes, see the things different way. Okay, so last slide for the resignation part is what I recommend is self-questioning. To do reframing is not so easy because our mental is sometimes fixed. Resignation is bad, right? But self-questioning sometimes support. For example, if some staff leave your team, you can ask yourself, what was your impression when you first met that person? Sometimes if you get along with someone for long years, we forget the first impression of that person. But recalling back of the first impression of someone help you to kind of re-understanding the person better. Also, what was the person's gift to your life? For example, Swan Chai-san is giving gift to me actually. This is the gift, and I also give some gift to you back. So this is also something some meaning that we can find from the event. If we see just the event, just event is event. But if we try to find a meaning, maybe we can have more sense of gratitude to everything. So that is the self-question. What is a gift this person gives to me? Yes. Okay. And last one, what kind of life do you want that person to live in the future? So if we separate with some person, but he will start new life, so what kind of thing we wish this person to experience in the future? This is kind of self-questioning technique. Self-questioning can help you rephrase, and change the viewpoint to see the events. Okay, last one is how to keep self-confidence to answer some of the questions, some of you. Let me borrow idea of Zen master from Japan, which is a Dogen. Has anyone experienced Zen? Zen, maybe some of you, yes. Okay, Zen is maybe you can imagine sitting, yes. But it's not only sitting, it's also about the way you think. It's also related to the way you think. So Dogen, the Zen master said, meaning of Zen is Shinshin Datsuraku, which is discard your body and mind. It includes discard two things. Discard yourself. Forget about the past and the future. Just be at present. When we lose our self-confidence, sometimes we think too much about the past, for example, or sometimes we too much worried about the future. We tend to forget about just seeing the present. So that is what he found. If we focus on just the present, our mind cannot be, our mind can be more peaceful. So that's what he said. He said interesting quote, which is wood. Wood is wood. Charcoal is charcoal. That is what he said. Charcoal is something that is after being burned from wood, right? So charcoal used to be a wood. But if it turns to a charcoal, it never go back to wood, right? But sometimes, as a human, we tend to think, oh, this charcoal used to be a wood. Why this has become a charcoal? That is thinking about the past. Or sometimes we compare. If we compare wood to charcoal, wood is better. These things is not meaningful because charcoal is charcoal. It can never be back to the wood. So Dogen pointed out by using this example about the importance of seeing the present. But we tend to think about the past, even though we have only charcoal in front of us. This is a metaphor, yes, that he used to tell the importance of being the present. And another discard is discard others in yourself. When we lose self-confidence, we often compare ourselves with others, actually. Or we imagine the reaction of others, which is not existing, actually. Oh, if I say like this, other people might say like this. Before saying that, we worry first. So that is what he point out. Others in yourself. We have others in ourselves, unnecessary others, which is sometimes controls our opinion, but it's not necessary. So we have to discard. We have to get rid of it. That is what he said. If we sit in Zen temple, we can do this, but we can apply this idea to ourselves by only understanding this kind of concept. Yes. And what Dogen said, another concept is Jita Fuji. Jita Fuji is yourself and others cannot be separated. That is also a unique concept. But as I said, when we lose self-confidence, as I said, we tend to compare ourselves with others. But it cannot be separated. You and others can be same. That is what he said. For example, if someone else can succeed in the business, you don't have to compare. And if someone you know succeed, maybe that is also a happy thing for yourselves because you know him. Yes, that is the idea that you do not compare yourself with others. And happiness of others can be happiness of yourself. If we think in that way, your self-confidence will not be so damaged. That is what he thought. And last of all, the Mencius pointed out the leader's mindset. He says leaders should have three joys. Our families are good health, and always be fair and do right things, and the growth of people you develop. These three things is a happiness that leader should keep in mind. Yes, and being a king is not one of them, because you cannot control that result. You cannot control the outcome to become a king, right? But these things can be maintained by yourself as much as you can. So that's why don't let yourself be controlled by the outcome that are unstable. Instead, the value in yourself that I call identity will always support you. So, as I said, leader Mencius to keep the healthy mind in yourself. They should not try to satisfy yourself by getting the result, because result cannot be controlled. Instead, some value inside can satisfy you. So that's the leader mindset to keep self-confidence by Mencius. Okay, thank you very much. So conclusion. I want to emphasize this leadership concept with Asian philosophy is something important for the future, because it brings harmony. It does not separate the world. Nowadays, we are seeing many conflicts in the world. But I believe bringing harmony, without dividing good and bad, is something useful for our future. Yes. Okay, so maybe let me stop. I have a few more slides, but let me stop it. Yes, since time is limited. Okay, thank you very much. Yep.
Yes, thank you for Mr. Jack. And right now, I believe everybody have more knowledge about this topic that we talked today. So do you have some question to ask? Yes, please.
Yes, I would like to ask you if what do you think about the new generation, that like the Asian generation that went abroad to study and then they come back, and the difference between the old generation and the new generation? Can they work together?
Can they work together?
Yeah.
New generation and old generation. Interesting question. I think as long as I see some data of the mentality of young generation, they are interested in more contribution to the society. I think they back then. I think younger people want to work more for fulfilling themselves or more work for money. But nowadays, according to the data, they want to work for not only for the money, but for the something meaningful, something invisible value for themselves, which is, I think, good for the society because they never try to just satisfy themselves. But at the same time, due to the technology, I think in general, younger generation are becoming less patient, actually. They cannot wait until learning something by being patient, until learning something throughout making proper effort. Because everything is convenient. Everything can be taken from SNS. So in that perspective, there are some difficulty to collaborate between our older generation and younger generation. But good thing is there are some good sense of humanity and the good contribution mindset. So that's why what I'm trying to do is importance of patience. What we have to do, yes. Because without patience, we cannot grow. That is the truth. throughout any kind of generation, I think.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Do you have another questions from our rooms here? Okay. Right now we will ask you some question from Zoom. We have some questions. Not yet, right? Okay. I think the topic for today is very clear. That's why we don't have a question, but it's helpful for you to develop yourself and reflect yourself, and then you can give this information and develop your organization and your team, your business. Okay. And then thank you very much, Mr. Jack, to sharing the knowledge and good experiences with us today. And let's give a big applause to Mr. Jack. Yes. Last but not least, I would like to invite again Mr. Suwanchai to say thanks and give souvenir to our speaker.
I hope all of us you feeling the same way as I am now. After listening to Kun Jack, I found that I have a lot of self-reflection and I can reframe myself and probably I also resolution the way of thought and the way of living from today. As you mentioned also, when something ends, something new happen. I think after this session end, all of us will have another good things happen to your life. Please give a big hand to Jack once again. ขอบคุณมากครับแจ็คครับแล้วก็สำหรับเซสชั่นในวันนี้นะครับอย่างที่บอกไว้เป็นความตั้งใจนะครับที่อยากจะมอบสิ่งดีๆที่เป็นประโยชน์แล้วก็จะเชื่อมต่อมิติของการเติบโตเชิงธุรกิจการเติบโตในระดับบุคคลแล้วก็การเติบโตไปสู่สังคมที่เป็นความสำเร็จของยั่งยืนที่สถาบันเพิ่มของเราอยากจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งและเป็นองค์ประกอบในการสร้างสะพานเชื่อมคนเก่งเชื่อมคนดีเชื่อมคนที่มีจิตใจที่แบ่งปันมาสร้างสังคมไทยให้เติบโตก้าวหน้าแล้วขอบคุณทุกท่านที่มาในสถาบันเพิ่มวันนี้หวังว่าสถาบันเพิ่มเราจะมีโอกาสได้รับใช้แล้วก็เป็นเครื่องมือหนึ่งที่จะทำให้ท่านสามารถได้เติบโตตามฝันและการออกแบบของชีวิตแต่ละคนที่จะใหม่และไม่เหมือนเดิมขอบคุณทุกคนมากๆครับ Thanks again Jack we are very happy to have you here today ขอบคุณมากครับ
ในลำดับต่อไปนะคะเมื่อทุกท่านได้เข้าร่วมฟังก์ชันกับเราแล้วทาง FTPI เองก็จะขอความร่วมมือทุกท่านค่ะช่วยกันประเมินการบรรยายในวันนี้นะคะเดี๋ยวจะมี QR code นะคะขอให้เจ้าหน้าที่ช่วยแชร์ QR code ด้วยนะคะรบกวนด้วยค่ะเพราะว่าเนื่องจากว่าจะเป็นประโยชน์อย่างมากค่ะในการทำคอนเทนต์ของโปรแกรมเราในครั้งต่อไปเพราะว่าเราจะไม่จัดกันแค่ครั้งเดียวเราจะทำกันเรื่อยๆเพื่อที่จะมีจุดมุ่งหมายในการพัฒนาและ develop ให้กับองค์กรและบุคลากรต่อไปค่ะ
ใช่บางทีอยากฟังเรื่องอะไรอย่างนี้ใช่ไหมก็แชร์เข้าไปได้เนอะแล้วก็ขอประชาสัมพันธ์ล่วงหน้าเลยอย่างรอบเนี้ยเราใช้ Asian Philosophy เนอะเราได้เชิญคุณแจ็คมาในสัปดาห์ที่3อังคารที่18เมษายนนะครับเราจะทำเป็นเวิร์กช็อปเพราะตอนนี้เราเห็นว่า ChatGPT กำลังแรงใช่ไหมแล้วก็มีหลายคนก็ติดต่อมาพี่เสืออยากรู้อยากทำเป็นอยากมีอะไรผมก็เลยไปเชิญเดี๋ยวก่อนจะเป็นเวิร์กช็อปนะครับก็จะจัดเป็นขอให้ทุกคนเอาโน้ตบุ๊กมาเองแล้วเราก็จะสอนวิธีการสามารถเอา ChatGPT เนี่ยมาเป็นส่วนประกอบในการสร้างงานสร้างความคิดหรือมิติใหม่ๆของแต่ละคนได้ด้วยก็ยังไม่ได้ประชาสัมพันธ์ไปเราก็จะเป็นกลุ่มแรกที่ได้รับทราบนะครับก็เช่นเดียวกันครับเราก็จะเป็น limited group เราก็จะทำเป็นคลาสเล็กๆ 20-30 คนแล้วก็เดี๋ยววันที่18เมษายนก็เชิญทุกท่านได้อีกครั้งถ้าท่านสนใจนะครับก็ลงชื่อมาในกิจกรรมครั้งต่อไปของ GSPN Update ของสถาบันเพิ่มครับขอบคุณครับ
ขออนุญาตเพิ่มเติมนะคะในส่วน Presentation ที่ทุกท่านได้รับชมกันเมื่อก่อนหน้านี้หากท่านใดนะคะมีความประสงค์ที่จะขอรับตัวเนื้อหาตัวนี้นะคะเราจะส่งให้ท่านทางอีเมลนะคะอาจจะไม่ใช่วันนี้นะคะเพราะเราจะต้องรวบรวมอีเมลก่อนค่ะแล้วเดี๋ยวเราจะส่งให้ท่านต่อไปนะคะ for the presentation Mr. Jack so I will can we send to the participant by email right
ได้ครับ
okay thank you ค่ะอย่างที่คุณแจ็คซังบอกค่ะ when something ends when something ends ใช่ไหมคะ something begins นั่นแหละค่ะวันนี้เราจบท็อปิกกันในวันนี้ใช่ไหมคะแต่ว่าก็มีสิ่งใหม่อย่างที่ท่านผอ.ได้แจ้งให้ทราบแล้วว่าจะเป็น Chat GPT ค่ะซึ่งอันเนี้ยมีประโยชน์ขอโทษค่ะออกเสียงผิด GPT นะคะขอประทานอภัยค่ะก็ถ้าเกิดว่าท่านใดสนใจนะคะเรามีแค่30ซีทเท่านั้นนะคะที่สถาบันเพิ่มแต่ถ้าเกิดว่าท่านใดจองไม่ทันนะคะเราก็จะทำเป็นแบบออนไลน์เหมือนกันค่ะถ้าเกิดว่าใครไม่สะดวกมาก็ขอให้ทุกท่านนะคะfollow ในช่องทางสื่อของเรานะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็น Facebook Line YouTube นะคะสามารถดูย้อนหลังได้ด้วยค่ะถ้ายังไงวันนี้ก็ขอบพระคุณทุกท่านเป็นอย่างมากเลยนะคะเดินทางโดยสวัสดิภาพค่ะขอบพระคุณค่ะ